Hello, my name is Scott for SP Gaming and welcome back to Flight Simulator Friday. Today what we are going to do is take on the Telluride landing, which is to fly the challenging visual approach to the Telluride Airport in the mountains of Colorado. Estimated time to complete 15 minutes, so this might take us maybe 10, maybe 15 minutes. I might stretch it out, but yeah, let's just fly. Estimated time to complete is going to be 15 minutes. We're flying a Bombardier Learjet 45. Our objective is to land at Telluride Regional Airport. Ah, the life of a charter pilot. It's a beautiful Colorado afternoon and you're descending into Telluride with a cabin full of celebrities picked up in Los Angeles. Telluride Regional Airport, KTEX, sits perched on the edge of a small plateau at an altitude of 9,078 feet above sea level. Co-pilot will talk you through the approach. Pay attention. There are mountains everywhere. The mission begins in the air approximately 30 miles west of Telluride, with your Learjet level at 15,000 feet and headed northeast. Note, during this flight your co-pilot will handle radio communications, but you'll handle all aircraft systems. As the mission begins, you're headed northeast to the cones of VOR 110.2 ETL, level at 15,000 feet. Approaching the VOR, expect air traffic control to instruct you to descend to 12,000 feet and then turn east towards the airport. When you report the airport in sight, you'll be cleared for the visual approach. The airport is located on a plateau, so be careful not to descend below the runway. Well, I remember when I tried this before, I thought I had to go much lower because I didn't realize it's at 9,000 feet. And yeah, I succeeded. But, anyway. Your co-pilot will handle all radio communications during the flight. Your call sign is Lear 5LR. And suggested reading. To learn more about the skills you'll use in the mission, you'll see the following articles. And Learning Center is right here. Flying jets, Bombardier Learjet 45 aircraft information, what you need to know about the VOR, using the GPS. You know what, let's just hop into here and find the aircraft. Bombardier Learjet 45 flying notes. Many factors affect flight planning and aircraft operation, including aircraft weight, weather, and runway surface. Okay, required runway length, takeoff 47,000 feet, flaps 8, landing 32,000 feet, 975 meters, flaps 20. The length is required for both takeoff and landing is a result of a number of factors such as, okay. Engine startup, taxiing, use just enough power to get it rolling and then bring the thrust levers back to idle. Idle thrust will work fine for keeping you moving. After the engines are stabilized, advance the thrusters. Okay. Does it tell me? Okay, there's a lot of information here. Smoothly increase power to maintain 140 knots for final approach speed. Okay, that's what I'm looking for. As you intercept the glide scope, set 40 degrees flaps. This configuration should hold airspeed at 140 knots with a good descent angle towards the runway. Okay, about that. Anyway, let's jump back into the missions and the Telluride landing. Let's go flying. Alright, we are here.
You've got the airplane. Stay on heading 055 and maintain 15,000 feet.
Okay. Heading... said 255. Where do I find that information? We are...
Lear 5 Lima Romeo, Denver Center. Descend and maintain 12,000.
Down to 12,000, Lear 5 Lima Romeo.
Alright, so over here...
Okay, descend now to 12,000 feet.
Okay, this is our this is our speed. We're currently at 213, 212 knots. We're at 15,000 feet.
Lear 5 Lima Romeo, reduce speed to 180 knots.
Slowing down to 180,
put
Lear
some flaps.
5 Lima Romeo. Reduce thrust to slow to 180 knots, maintain 12,000 feet.
Yep. Alright, so we are at 14,000. Let's pull up just a bit. Let's put some more flaps on.
Approach checklist. Approach speed. Our speed on the approach will be 140 knots,
There
but
we
keep
go.
it 180 for now. Radios are set. Flaps set to 8, that's 1 notch. Spoilers set to armed. Approach checklist complete.
Alright, so if I...
Get ready to level off at 12,000 feet.
Okay, so we are at 12,300. We're going to need to be somewhere around... How do we get to 180 knots?
We're a little low. Keep our altitude at 12,000 feet until we're cleared
Oh.
for the approach.
Okay, no problem. Alright, there we go. Let's accelerate. One thing I found with the Learjet is that it has a lot of lag.
Lear 5 Lima Romeo, turn right heading 095. Vector for visual approach to Telluride. Report the airport in sight.
To the right?
Right to 095, Lear 5 Lima Romeo. Turn right to a heading of 095 degrees. We're about 17 miles from the airport. We're a little high. Descend to 12,000 feet.
Oh, okay. $12,000 feet. We're at 12,600. Let's pull back the
We're a
power.
little fast. Keep your speed at 180 knots.
Yep, I know. Alright. We're slowing down to 195. We want to be at what? 12,000 feet? There we go. And alright, so we need to level off at 12,000 feet, right about there. And we are dropping below 180. Speed just up a bit. Give it a little bit more. There we go. Pull back on the throttle. No. Nope, we just...
That's the airport up ahead on the mesa. I'll call center. We're a little slow. Keep your speed at least 180 knots.
Oh, wow.
Denver Center, Lear 5 Lima Romeo has the airport in sight.
Yep, let's,
Lear 5 Lima Romeo, cleared visual approach, runway 9er.
Cleared for the visual, Lear 5 Lima Romeo.
we might want to swing over just because it looks like we're not going to be lined up with the runway.
Lower the landing gear and slow to 140 knots. Extend the flaps to full as you slow down. Start descending toward the runway.
Alright, that's landing gear.
Clear, 5 Lima Romeo, switch to advisory.
Switching, clear 5 Lima Romeo. Telluride traffic, clear 5 Lima Romeo on the visual approach runway 9er.
Alright, we're at 11,700 feet. About 180 knots. And yeah, this thing, there's a lot of lag to the controls. You put it full.
We're a little too fast. Slow to 140 knots.
Okay. Alright.
Landing checklist. Gear
Pull back
down.
on the...
Set full flaps. Landing checklist complete.
full flaps. Alright, let's give it a little bit more throttle, prevent it from dropping below 140. Are we supposed to be at 11,000 feet? Come on, co-pilot. What altitude are we supposed to be at? Are we descending? I assume we're descending. I don't know how long this episode is going to be. Because I had a slight issue with my controller. And so I had to spend a little bit of time troubleshooting. But looks like we're going to be good. Although the airfield is going to be at 9,137 feet. We're at 9,800. So yeah, we're coming in at a good angle.
Approaching 09.
Give me some instructions. Yeah, this is a 9,400. Let's try not to descend anymore. It's probably going to warn us if we're going to be too low. Oh. We're a little bit wide of the runway. 9,100. Oh. Try to maintain 91. Oh dear. Oh, there we go. Although we're not on the runway. And pull back. And
3,000 feet remaining.
let's bring it to a halt.
2,000 feet remaining.
60 knots, disengage reverse thrust. Nice landing. Turn off the runway to the left once we slow down.
All right. Thought it was going to come in low, but we're good.
There's the limousine. You can park anywhere close to it.
Let's give it a little
After
bit.
landing checklist. Landing light set to off. Spoilers retract. Flaps set to up. After landing checklist complete.
Okay. Can we move this out of the way. Let's say right there. Alright, we are coming in. Let's slow it down. And they have a cub right there.
Okay, park here.
All right. And what is the brake? Brake is... not that. All right, about that. Anyway, what I'm going to do right now, we're going to turn the plane around because we are going to go back onto the runway. To take off, to fly around.
Approaching 27. On taxiway, on taxiway. Approaching 27.
Come on. Now the question is...
On
sure.
runway 09. Flaps, flaps.
Let's try to get up to... Alright, we're up to 60 knots. Can we do it?
On taxiway, on taxiway.
Knife.
On taxiway, on taxiway.
Let's raise the gear. And we made a successful... Alright. Try to get up to cruising speed. Made a successful takeoff, although, yeah, that's probably not the best way to take off. Anyway, let's come back around. We're at 120 something knots. Actually, let's get rid of the flap. We don't need it. We're at 11,000 feet. $180 knots. We're at 11,500 feet and climbing. And yeah, I have a feeling you're supposed... Yeah, actually, you're supposed to taxi to the end of the runway, or at least to that middle taxi, and take off the other direction, just because we didn't give ourselves enough distance. And we are up to 215 knots, flying at 13,000 feet. The throttle is full out. And other than that, at this point, I am going to definitely take a break here. But that was an interesting, somewhat challenging flight. Or rather, challenging landing. And then, of course, we took off. And, yeah. Yep, looking at it now, I should have turned the other way and took off going the other direction, because when you look at it, there's just mountains the other way. Anyway, at this point, I'm going to end this episode here. Thank you for joining me with this episode of Flight Simulator Friday. Thank you again for watching. My name is Scott for SB Gaming. And as always, have a good day.